In the future, a greedy media company called the Network controls the United States. Most people are very poor and have no access to healthcare. To keep everyone distracted, the network broadcasts brutal game shows. The biggest show is The Running Man. Players must survive for 30 days while being hunted by professional killers and normal citizens. The prize is $1 billion, but to this day, nobody has made it to the end. Meet Ben. He is a hard-working blue-collar man who recently lost his job. Because he was involved in union activism, the companies blacklisted him, meaning no one will hire him.
Just ask them to take me off the blacklist.
His daughter Kathy is very sick, and Ben desperately needs money to buy her medicine. At home, his wife Sheila comes back late and announces she will take another shift at the bar.
Babe, I can't let you do that.
Ben, she is burning up.
Ben doesn't think it is fair for her to work so much surrounded by creeps. He announces he will bring money home by joining a game show.
Doesn't change our situation.
Sheila doesn't like it because players get severely hurt, but Ben swears he will just pick one of the safe commerce shows. Ben crosses his humble neighborhood and reaches the fence of the upper-class area. He tells the guards he is there for the network tryouts, and they let him pass. At the station, he waits in a massive line of poor people hoping to be chosen. Suddenly, an old man starts to feel ill, yet he swears he can play.
I can still try out.
When he collapses, Ben catches him and yells for help. Instead of helping, the guards scold Ben for stepping out of line and beat him up to send him back. At the front desk, Ben discovers his file has a warning sign because of his insubordination.
Hired by Defense Net, birth of daughter.
In anger, he punches the screen. He is given a tracking bracelet and assigned to Elevator 6. There, fellow players Tim and Jenny insist on befriending him. Everyone is given a uniform and put through physical tests, like climbing and running in the sewers. Ben constantly helps Tim survive these trials. During a break, a guard comes to punish Ben, but Ben fearlessly blocks his attack. Next, the contestants are put through psychological tests. Ben always answers with sarcasm and an attitude. The psychologist concludes,
"You are quantifiably the angriest man to ever audition for our shows."
Because of this, all the people who make it to the final round are given colored jumpsuits. Ben, Tim, and Jenny get red jumpsuits with targets on their backs. This means they are joining the deadly Running Man. Next, Ben meets producer Dan and tells him he wants to do a different game.
I'm aware of your family crisis.
Dan gives him a $1,000 bonus to try to change his mind. He reminds Ben that the safe shows don't pay more than that, but in Running Man, he makes money for every single day he survives. Since Ben is blacklisted, it is the only job he will ever have. Thinking about his family, Ben decides to sign the contract.
Welcome to the Running Man.
Then, Ben meets an agent from the Family Alliance. The network promises to provide Ben's family with security. They will be taken to a safe house and get a fake name. Ben wants to visit them before the game starts, but he is only allowed one last call. Ben tells Sheila that he is doing Running Man, but he swears he will win.
I love you.
I love you too.
That night, Ben is forced to stay in a private luxury room. The agent brings him an envelope from Sheila. Inside is a good luck charm. The next morning, Ben is given a running band. This bracelet will show his remaining time and how much money he has made. The show begins, and host Bobby calls Ben to the stage. Bobby immediately starts lying to the cheering crowd. He says Ben used to work for Defense Network Security, but got caught selling top-secret information. There is even fake video footage played on the screen. Ben tries to deny it, but Bobby ignores him. The world believes Running Man is a chance to punish criminals, and they don't know the players are actually desperate people. Civilians even get paid if they report players' locations to the network. When Bobby asks for his last words, Ben insults him to the audience and promises to survive to burn this building down.
That's the spirit.
After all the players are introduced, Bobby goes over the rules. They are given $1,000 in advance and a 12-hour head start. The 5 deadly hunters will go out the next morning. Players are also required to film themselves for at least 10 minutes every day. If they don't drop the tapes in the assigned boxes before midnight, they get disqualified from further winnings, but they will still be hunted. After Bobby shows the mysterious hunters to the audience, the 3 players are put in different elevators and sent to a dark room. In the dark room, Ben finds the camera, some money, and normal clothes. Ben changes and leaves the building. He takes a cab, but the driver recognizes him and asks for a selfie. When Ben says no, the driver gets angry and reminds him to be nice or he will report him.
You gotta be nice, man, so people don't report you.
Ben just gets out of the car and starts running. Eventually, he makes it to an abandoned building. Here he meets his old friend Molly, who manufactures things for the black market. Ben says he wants 2 ID cards and a gun. Molly is angry because Ben put him in danger by coming here. But after a short argument and hearing about Kathy, he agrees to help.
Go hide out in survival.
Ben is given a makeover and gets fake IDs with his new look. Molly puts all his things in a suitcase to make him look like a businessman. He tells Ben to stay out of the slums because his own people will sell him for the money. It is better to stay in a busy place and disappear in the crowd.
See on big screen.
In the morning, Ben makes it to the train station. There are signs with pictures of the three players everywhere. He buys a ticket to New York and gets on a train right before his bracelet announces that the hunt has begun. A kid tries talking to him, and Ben immediately threatens him, but the boy only wanted to tell him that his fake mustache is falling. In New York, Ben gets a room at a nice hotel. The receptionist notices that his ID picture has a mustache, but Ben doesn't. Ben simply says he shaved. In the room, Ben removes his costume and covers the wall before recording himself napping. In the evening, he drops the tape in the box. At midnight, the bracelet informs him that he got the bonus for the first day. Meanwhile, the hunters find Molly and torture him until he tells them the name on the fake ID. The next day, the hunters burst into Ben's room and shoot him. But at that moment, Ben wakes up. It was just a nightmare. On TV, the camera is following player Tim, who is at a store flirting with a clerk. The hunters easily find Tim and shoot him in the head as soon as he comes out. Afterward, Ben rents his room for 3 more days as a trick. He puts all his things in a normal bag and throws it out the window into a trash container. Then, he leaves the hotel normally, picks up his bag, and takes a bus to Boston. There, he buys old clothes and a hostel room key from a poor man. Ben sneaks into the hostel and gets in the elevator without seeing the out-of-service sign that fell earlier. The elevator gets stuck midway to the 2nd floor. Ben has to climb out to reach the 3rd floor, where his room is. In a box in the closet, he finds gum, cigarettes, and a grenade. He records his tape, and his bracelet reminds him to deliver it. But there are too many people waiting by the box. Ben gets ready to take a shower and heads toward the shared bathroom. While thinking about the box, he suddenly realizes he knows the face of one of the men outside. It is one of the hunters, and they are coming upstairs. Luckily, someone opens the bathroom, and the door hides Ben as the hunter reaches the 3rd floor. After the hunter goes to search the rooms, Ben sneaks into the bathroom. He checks the window, but it is sadly blocked. He can't leave without his bag, so he rips off a metal rod from the wall and breaks the mirror. Then he sticks a glass shard to the rod using gum. In the corridor, Ben uses his homemade mirror to check the position of the hunters who are about to enter his room. Ben sneaks up the stairs and loudly yells that he saw Ben running on the 2nd floor. Then he runs upstairs and reaches the roof, grabbing the cables from the glowing sign to climb down. He reaches his room and breaks the window to go inside. The hunters hear the noise and come back. Ben manages to dress up and grab his things right before they open fire at the door. Ben jumps through the window and grabs the cable again. The weight causes the sign to bend. A hunter is waiting on the street, so Ben has no choice but to burst into another room through the window. The network drone is still following him. Ben starts running down the corridor while the hunters continue to fire at him. He makes it to the elevator and captures the drone, smashing it against the control pad. The recording ends and the elevator works again. In the lobby, a hunter comes for him. Ben throws the grenade, only for the hunter to kick it back at him. Ben immediately picks it up and throws it through the hole in the ceiling. The explosion causes the elevator to drop into the dark basement. Ben looks around with only a little match. He decides to set a magazine on fire to have more light. As he moves around, he accidentally sets a rope on fire, and when he drops the magazine, the flames spread even more. Since the hunters are in the corridor, Ben pushes some furniture to block the door. Then, he follows the rats down the sewer. The hunters open fire and accidentally hit a gas pipe. A huge explosion goes off in the basement. The flames go down the tunnel too, so Ben has to fall into the sewer water to save himself while the whole building blows up. When Ben comes out in the street, a man named Stacy approaches Ben. Ben starts threatening him, but Stacy assures him he just wants to help. While waiting in an alley, Stacy comes back with his brother Brad. Brad takes Ben to his house and feeds him. Brad's family has a sick kid as well, but Brad doesn't want money for helping Ben because he is an anti-network rebel. He shows Ben his secret video room, where he records his analyses of the Running Man episodes and posts them online. Players who get caught go out in public, so the key is staying completely hidden. Brad wants Ben to secretly live with them and make a plan for the last day so he can win the game. The next day, Ben learns about the horrible things that happen in the neighborhood that the government keeps under wraps. A furious Ben makes a video telling the public about these atrocities and says that the government is killing their children. Later during the show, host Bobby appears with a bunch of kids, claiming they are children orphaned by the hostile explosion. He plays Ben's tape, but it is so edited that it sounds like Ben is mocking these kids. Ben tries to explain that it is a fake, but Brad's mother is disgusted and kicks him out. Brad and Stacy are still determined to help, so they hide Ben in the trunk of their car and drive off. Suddenly, the car starts going faster and a bullet hits the trunk. 2 bikes are chasing them. Ben opens the trunk and throws a tool at a biker's face, causing him to crash. The other bikers open fire, so Ben hides again and Brad stops the car. The bikers can't stop in time and crash into the car. Brad quickly runs over both of them to take them out. Afterward, Brad drops Ben off outside town. He gives him a gun and a card with the address of his friend, Elton. After a short train trip, Ben is hiding in another hotel and watching his latest tape on TV. Bobby also shows Jenny's tape, revealing she is partying at a club. Disguised as a blind priest, Ben leaves the hotel to drop the tape in the box, but a mailman is there and gets suspicious. He approaches Ben, using a question as an excuse to check his face. The mailman starts recording him. Ben tackles him and headbutts him. After dropping the tape in the box, Ben runs away. A car starts chasing him. Ben crosses the woods and jumps over a fence to follow a passing train. The mailman opens fire, but Ben is already jumping from train to escape. In Maine, Ben pretends to be a disabled man and joins a group watching the show on the street. Player Jenny has been found in a casino. She almost escapes in a car, but unfortunately 2 teenagers manage to set her vehicle on fire and kill her. Moments later, Ben finally meets Elton. He lives with his mom, but he swears she isn't mentally well, so they can ignore her. Elton takes Ben to his secret room where he prints an anti-network newsletter. His dad was a cop who was killed by his coworkers when he spoke against the system. Since then, Elton has been a rebel. He also explains that street lamps across the whole country have scanners that can identify strands of DNA. Thus, Ben should hide underground. His father built a bunker during the Cold War, so Elton wants Ben to hide there to win. Then, he will print his rebellious newsletter with Ben's face to trigger a revolution.
It's you against the world either way, brother.
Ben spends the night in a hidden room and records his tape. In the morning, he tries to deliver it, only to be seen by Elton's mother. She immediately recognizes him and tries to raise the community alarm, but Elton stops her. However, he realizes he could avenge his father, so he alerts the cops anyway. Soon, the house is surrounded and bullets come through every wall. The mother tries to tell the cops where they are, but Elton locks her up before activating his booby traps. When the cops break in, Elton shoots water on the electric cables on the floor, which electrocutes some officers. Then, he and Ben run through the wall in the secret room. When the cops try to follow, the trap throws chemicals at them and sets them on fire. The stairs have another trap that breaks the wood and throws the cops off. Elton takes Ben to the bathroom and they slide down a pole in the shower. In the next room, Elton reveals a hidden door on the floor and they descend into a tunnel. Unfortunately, a hunter is waiting. He stabs Elton before going after Ben. A fight ensues, and Ben's hand gets cut before he disarms the enemy. Elton grabs the knife and slashes the hunter's ankle to make him fall. At that moment, the hunter gets a call from producer Dan, who wants to talk to Ben. When Ben asks why they don't just fake the entire show with their technology, Dan explains that they tried, but computer-generated people aren't as entertaining as the real deal. Then, he asks Ben to kill the hunter so the drone can record it for better ratings. Instead, Ben shoots the drone. Afterward, Elton and Ben burst through a door in a vehicle. They make it to the woods and see a helicopter following them. Elton asks Ben to leave him as a distraction and run to the shelter. Unfortunately, the sniper in the chopper shoots Elton in the head. 2 hunters now surround Ben, but they can't shoot because they were ordered to catch him alive so he can be executed on live TV. The vehicle is full of explosives, so Ben drives through the bridge and jumps out right before the car crashes into one of the hunters, causing a huge explosion. Ben falls into the river while the bracelet gives him a huge bonus for killing a hunter. After sneaking through the countryside, Ben finally makes it to the bunker's location. He is shocked to discover that the government destroyed it to build a new city. He spends the night in an abandoned house and dreams about his family, which inspires him to keep playing. When the cops reach that house later, they only find Ben's latest tape and a message that says, "You mail it." In the middle of the road, Ben breaks the window of the first car that passes and gets inside. He threatens the driver, a woman named Amelia, to make her drive as fast as possible, while the drones and the cops follow them. After dodging lots of vehicles, she makes a sudden turn and enters the opposite road, which helps them lose their pursuers for a while. During the trip, Amelia calls Ben all kinds of insults.
I am a member of society! You disgust me.
Ben shows her a picture of his family and tells her the truth about the players and the fake videos.
You seem to be doing fine.
Suddenly, the car is hacked by AI, and the vehicle is forced to stop. Two rednecks try to capture them, but a drone opens fire to kill them and makes their truck explode. This means Dan wants to keep Ben alive for more ratings. A fake video on TV shows Amelia yelling for help, so she finally understands Ben's story is true. The duo continues to drive ahead and encounters lots of people supporting them by the road. Eventually, they find the road blocked by the hunter leader, Evan. Since various drones are recording, Ben pretends he has explosives and threatens to kill all the civilians on national TV. He asks for a plane and 2 parachutes.
You got 1 minute.
Evan gets orders to take the deal. Ben tells Amelia she can leave now, but she refuses because she has seen the truth and wants to help. Minutes later, at the airport, Ben asks the hunter leader to take off his mask. Evan tries to say no, but Dan orders him to do it, and the camera records Evan's face. Ben notices that the pilots are hunters too, and asks them to take him to Canada, where he will blow up the plane.
Anyone sneaks up on me, it's gonna be a real short ride.
During the flight, Evan gets impatient, and Ben insults him. When they are about to get violent, Amelia acts terrified about the bomb to stop them.
No, show it!
Suddenly, Dan appears on a screen. He explains his team has scanned the plane, so they know there are no explosives. Evan gets ready to shoot Ben. However, the pilots point their guns at Evan. Dan scolds him, since he wants to have this death on the show. Afterward, Dan has a private conversation with Ben to offer him a deal. If he kills Evan and the pilots, Ben can become the new lead hunter and be paid millions every year, and Ben says no. In response, Dan shows him a clip of the hunters killing Sheila and Kathy. Ben screams in grief and destroys the screen in fury. A confused Amelia turns on her screen and sees Bobby playing the clip of the death of Ben's family on TV, saying that the hunters broke the rules. Now, all the audience is on Ben's side. A pilot realizes it is a trap and gets his gun ready, but Ben shoots him first and uses him as a shield since the other hunters are shooting too. A massive fight ensues, and the controls are accidentally pressed, so the plane starts going down. After lots of struggle, Ben manages to retrieve his gun and shoots the hunters in the head. Afterward, Ben searches for Evan, who is hiding in a hatch, and takes Ben by surprise. Another fight begins. Evan then reveals a massive secret. He used to be a player too. He survived 29 days, so the network offered him to become a hunter to stop him from winning. Evan explains the network will torture his family if necessary, implying that the footage of Ben's family dying was totally fake. When Evan is about to shoot Ben, the plane's controls make a sudden turn to make him miss. Evan tries to kill Ben again, but Ben realizes he stole a parachute and pulls the handle. The parachute gets stuck in the broken window, and Ben uses the chance to kill Evan with a knife. Then Ben gives Amelia a bag with Elton's rebel newsletters and opens the door for her to jump. The drone follows her, so she insults it and releases the newsletters so they fly with the wind. On TV, Dan announces that Ben is the new hunter. Ben talks to the camera and explains the situation with his daughter. He tells the audience that the network manipulates society, so the real answer is to stop watching and go after the people in charge. His speech is interrupted when the network cuts the signal, and Dan immediately edits it to make him look like a madman. The audience watches as the plane comes closer to the station, only to blow up in the sky. Sometime later, Brad analyzes the episode and points out that there are too many inconsistencies to believe that the story they saw is true. People get angry and retrieve the plane's black box, so the real footage leaks online. Thanks to Ben's speech and Elton's newsletters, society finally supports the revolution, and now they are going after the network. Brad also discovers that the plane's auto-eject seat is missing, so Ben may still be alive. In the supermarket, Sheila and a healthy Kathy are getting groceries thanks to the money Ben made. When they come out, they are shocked to find Ben waiting for them. At the TV station, Bobby is terrified of the angry crowd and quits. Dan goes to the stage and people start throwing bombs at him. The rebels take over the building, causing destruction everywhere. Dan tries to run away, but he trips on a cable and falls. Ben emerges from the flames to shoot him in the head.
And action.
And the movie ends right here. If you enjoyed this recap, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to watch more sci-fi videos like this.